Shalom, shalom. So if you thought that UPS thing was wild, just wait. On February 28, 1993, ATF agents were en route to Mount Carmel to serve search warrants for the property and an arrest warrant for David Koresh. A local news station, KWTX, received a tip that the ATF was on their way there and sent out one of their cameramen, Jim Peeler. The official story is that on his way there, Jim Peeler became lost and saw a postal worker, so he stopped to ask for directions. The postal worker was curious as to why the cameraman needed the directions, to which the cameraman allegedly said, "Within an hour, the ATF is going to be there to raid the property." Jim Peeler later went on record to say that he had no idea that the postal worker he was talking to happened to be David Jones, the brother of Rachel Jones, who was the wife of David Koresh. Once the conversation had ended, David immediately hightailed it back to Mount Carmel to warn the Branch Davidians that they had 45 minutes before the ATF would be there, so they had to prepare. After the events that happened at Waco, Jim Peeler said that he never expected the conversation that he had with this postal worker to result in them being prepared for the ATF arriving. He said he just assumed it was a regular postal worker, a regular person, and that he was being a good Samaritan by warning him not to go near the ranch because the ATF was coming. However, during the Waco siege, when negotiators were talking to David Koresh and some of his followers, they did speak with David Jones, and he told them that while he was out doing his job as a postal worker, that Jim Peeler approached him and warned him that 75 ATF agents and helicopters were about to descend on the property and to take cover. He said that Jim Peeler told him to go back and warn the people who lived in the Branch Davidian community that the ATF was coming. Jim Peeler has always denied that he purposely tipped off the Branch Davidians. One of the ATF agents who was injured during the raid ended up suing the news station because he said that if this tip had never gone out, that the ATF would have still had the element of surprise and that he never would have gotten injured. There are people who believe that Jim Peeler is responsible for the deaths that occurred at the Waco siege because if he had not tipped them off, the ATF would have had the element of surprise and the situation would not have escalated the way that it did. So what do you think?